All right, welcome middle school science students and future engineers to our interactive workshop Explainer. Today, we're taking a look back in time to discover how incredible perseverance led to some of the absolute most vital technological breakthroughs in our history. Let's just jump right in.
So I want you to imagine something for a second. You identify an everyday problem and you decide to design a solution for it. Hard enough on its own, right? Well, actually, try to engineer that solution while facing massive systemic and societal barriers. How do you find that creative spark when the world around you is just constantly putting up roadblocks? Because that is exactly what the historical inventors we're profiling today managed to do. Here is our blueprint for today. We'll uncover the innovators' resilient mindset, decode some historical patent blueprints, and see how they completely revolutionized the modern home, transportation, and safety. Then we'll wrap up by looking at the power of STEM mentorship and how it inspires tomorrow's leaders. Okay, Section 1, the innovator's resilient mindset. To really understand these breakthroughs, we have to look at the historical context. We are focusing on African American inventors who operated during eras of severe systemic barriers, including slavery and profound institutionalized racism. As aspiring engineers, you all know how to solve technical problems. But imagine framing those societal barriers as the ultimate technical challenge. These inventors literally had to creatively engineer their way around a society that actively tried to stifle their opportunities. And you know what? Their resilience didn't just help them survive. It fueled practical solutions that permanently transformed our communities and our daily lives. Moving right along, Section 2, decoding historical patent blueprints. Have you ever looked at a really rough sketch and just seen the future? Let's analyze one together. Whenever you're looking at a historical patent drawing, try following this scientific method. First, identify the specific technical or societal problem the inventor was trying to solve. Second, closely examine the mechanical mechanisms they sketched out. And third, visualize how that drawing actually moves and functions as a final product. Take a look at the incredible detail in this 1892 patent drawing by Sarah Boone. At the time, ironing ladies' garments was incredibly difficult and inefficient because standard boards were basically just flat, straight planks of wood. But notice that narrow, curved design? Sarah identified a mundane household struggle and specifically engineered that curve to perfectly fit the sleeves and bodies of women's clothing. She even made it reversible so you could iron both sides of a sleeve without even taking the garment off the board. She took a real, everyday struggle and engineered a highly specific, ergonomic solution. Which brings us to Section 3, revolutionizing the modern home. So how do we get from a brilliant early sketch to a modern household essential? Check out the aesthetic and functional transformation here. We've got a wooden ironing board heavily inspired by Sarah Boone's 19th century design, sitting right next to today's sleek, collapsible, mass-market version. The core engineering principle, the curved edge for sleeves and the folding mechanism for storage, it remains exactly the same. Boone's pioneering focus on ergonomics fundamentally shaped the modern consumer goods industry. She proved that domestic comfort wasn't just some luxury, it was a necessity that could absolutely be engineered. And Boone definitely wasn't alone in revolutionizing the home. Take a look at this incredibly familiar item. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner patented the toilet tissue holder, a device that seamlessly improved everyday hygiene and efficiency. We also can't forget inventors like George T. Sampson, who patented a steam-powered clothes dryer back in 1892, laying the groundwork for the modern laundry appliances we use today. These simple, ingenious household inventions dramatically improved daily quality of life, proving that some of the most impactful engineering happens right inside our own homes. All right, stepping outside the home. Section 4. Transforming transportation and safety. These trailblazers certainly didn't stop at the front door. As industrial cities boomed and railroad networks expanded across the country, machines got bigger, faster, and way more dangerous. Enter Elijah McCoy and Andrew Jackson Beard. Trains used to have to stop constantly to be lubricated so their engines wouldn't overheat. McCoy engineered a steam pressure lubricator that pumped oil exactly where it was needed while the train was still moving, completely reshaping industrial output. And before Andrew Jackson Beard's Jenny coupler, railroad workers had to manually drop a pin between two moving train cars to connect them. It was a terrifyingly dangerous job. Beard's coupler automatically joined the cars when they bumped into each other, a design that directly saved thousands of limbs and lives. Now here is a massive lesson in entrepreneurship for you. These inventions weren't just helpful, they were highly lucrative business ventures. In 1897, Andrew Jackson Beard sold the rights to his life-saving Jenny coupler for $50,000. To put that into perspective, in today's money, that is an absolute fortune.
It proves that when you solve a massive problem, like saving lives and revolutionizing railroad efficiency, you fundamentally change modern industry standards, and you can build incredible personal success in the process.
Let's take it to the streets and see how this focus on safety protected growing urban populations. Check out this rapid evolution of mechanical public safety devices created by African American innovators. In 1896, C.B. Brooks patents a mechanical street sweeper to combat disease and filth. In 1914, Garrett Morgan invents the smoke hood, allowing firefighters to safely enter burning buildings. And in 1923, Morgan strikes again, patenting the three-position traffic signal.
Let's trace the direct visual progression of C.B. Brooks' street sweeper. From his intricate technical sketch in 1896, where he designed a truck with a series of revolving brushes to automate cleaning, we can see how it evolved right into a functional, physical vehicle that actually cleaned our growing cities. It's a perfect example of mapping the progression from a mechanical patent directly to a modern industrial manufacturing process.
And then there's Garrett Morgan's traffic signal. Before Morgan, traffic signals only had stop and go. This led to horrific accidents because drivers had literally no warning that the signal was about to change. So Morgan engineered a third, intermediate position, what we now know as the yellow light. Such a simple mechanical improvement, but it fundamentally changed urban infrastructure standards worldwide and drastically reduced intersection accidents. His inclusive design made the street safer for absolutely everyone.
Section 5. The power of STEM mentorship.
As aspiring engineers, you've got to understand that true, long-lasting innovation rarely happens in a vacuum. Think about the struggle of working entirely alone. When you hit a roadblock, who do you turn to? Contrast that with the immense power of community-supported innovation. By leveraging local networks, sharing resources, and finding mentors, these inventors were able to navigate and overcome the immense systemic obstacles placed in their way. Established innovators knew this deeply. Figures like the brilliant agricultural scientist George Washington Carver and the trailblazing entrepreneur Madam C.J. Walker didn't just build their own empires. They acted as vital mentors. They dedicated their time to nurturing, teaching, and guiding younger African American talent in STEM and business fields. They understood that personal responsibility meant making sure the door was left wide open for the next generation. Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, Inspiring Tomorrow's Engineering Leaders. The history of these trailblazers isn't just about the past. It's a direct roadmap for your own future careers in science and engineering. Take this legacy of resilience as vital career advice. First, embrace societal challenges as technical problems waiting to be solved. Second, always seek out diverse perspectives in your designs. Third, focus on inclusive, everyday solutions. And finally, find a mentor to guide you, and promise that one day you will become a mentor to someone else. Honor these past trailblazers by building your own creative confidence.
Which leaves us with the biggest question of this explainer. You've seen how inventors like Garrett Morgan, Elijah McCoy, and Sarah Boone overcame immense adversity to engineer the modern world. You have the tools, you have the history, and you have the potential. So what barriers will you break, and what will you invent next? Get to work, future engineers.